Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today we're doing my nails, and if you saw the thumbnail, these are very cute nails. I love them very much. I still have them on and I'm already not looking forward to taking them off because they're so cute. So we're starting with bare nails. If you caught one of my last videos, I mentioned that doing your removal and doing your prep on different days, or doing your like actual manicure on different days, is the ticket. It's the way to it. It is the way to not feel so overwhelmed, not feel like you're doing a marathon. So that's what I'm doing these days. Doing my removal one day, doing my new set another day. You can break it up even more if you wanted. You could do your application of like your base. Say you're doing like a gel X, or you're doing in today's case, we're doing a dual form with polygel. You could take it to that point and then even do your nail art on a different day if that feels less overwhelming to you. Because if you are familiar with doing your own nails, then you know it is quite the task. Sometimes I'm seated for like 7 hours, and after listening to like ghost podcasts for 7 hours, I'm like, I'm done. I could listen to something else, but I get too scared. And then I'm afraid of ghosts for like the next few days, which currently I'm not afraid of ghosts. Goes in waves. But sidetracked majorly from the task at hand, but we are just prepping my nails. We pushed back the cuticles, we got under there with a cuticle bit, trimmed the dead skin off, and now we're just going over my nails with a sanding band. If you can see, I do have some product left behind on my nails, and that I just leave as like a little buffer. If I have product on my hands beforehand and I do remove my removal, oh my lord, and it is suitable to leave some product behind, I absolutely will. I do that with my clients too. I always try and leave a bit of clear behind because I don't want to keep retouching their natural nails, because that's where you get like severely damaged nails. If you're constantly refiling over them, I mean, that's not the only way you get them. You get them from bad client behavior as well, which is never ideal. Someone ripping their nails off, that kind of thing. But I'm going to do my best to make sure your nails are in good shape and my own nails are in good shape. I pay more attention to my clients' nails, but you know. So I did the Feel So Good base coat from Diami, and then I was sizing out some tips. These are the MG Art ones. They came out with a new version, and I bought those as well, but I haven't tried them yet. So this is the almond shape. I should have bought the universal ones when I bought the new ones, but I bought the almond shaped ones. But we are using the Jinbei polygel. I'm really liking this polygel. It's not too sticky. I'm putting way too little here. Like did I already say this? I mean, if you saw my cat claw video, you guys know I'm still new to doing A, dual forms, B, polygel and dual forms, but I was just having fun with polygel. Since I did the cat claws, I was like, I kind of want to do this again. So getting used to applying polygel in a different shape dual form, because the last time it was the cat claw, so you need a lot more. Trying to figure out how much product I needed in, but I am applying all the polygel to all of the dual forms for one hand to start before I apply them, because then I can just kind of stick them all on in a row. But I'm pressing it onto the nail, making sure that I'm covering both the side walls, because you know, that's a sore spot for me, making sure those side walls are covered on myself. On a client, no problem. I don't know why. On myself, it's like I have my eyes closed while I'm doing it. And then I just cure around. I use my little flash cure lamp, and I just aim the light right at my nail bed. So I'm avoiding flash curing the gel that's in the tip of the nail. You can kind of see I'm doing it there too. And then I'm gonna flip my hand upside down, and because I haven't hit that gel on the tip, I can still smooth it out with my alcohol soaked brush. I just added a bit of extra polygel to that one because it was looking a little too thin. But yeah, that's what's great. You cure-ish the nail bed area, and then you smooth out the underside. And that's one benefit for sure of working with polygel in dual forms. And then once you do the whole hand, you give them all a cure in the big lamp, and then you can pop all the dual forms off, which is so satisfying. You definitely want to make sure to give the full nail a wipe, including the underside, because the underside will be sticky, especially before you go in and start filing, because then it's going to get all gunked up underside. I find whenever I do dual forms, I'm like, what shape am I doing today? I never really have an idea until I start filing and just kind of figure it out. So we ended up somewhere in an almondy kind of shape. I know people have different definitions of almond. Some people say it's more pointy, some say it's like a slightly more tapered kind of ovally situation. I don't know. I think it's somewhere close to where I ended up, but I will not fight anyone on their definition of almond. If you have a client that's trying to tell you that they want almond nails, or any shape of nails to be honest, and you're not sure, I always request a reference photo, because definitely people have different things in their mind when they say what shape they want. Even when it comes to round, like I had one client one time and I filed her nails round and her daughter was there, and the client was like, oh, you went way more taper than I was expecting. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I was like, this is like a typical round shape. But she had actually meant squoval, and her daughter's like, no, mom, that's round. But she had actually meant squoval. And I was like, okay, this is a good learning lesson for me, because I next time would absolutely ask for a reference image to make sure what I think is round and what my client thinks is round is the same thing, or I can make an adjustment. And then also I can offer, like, to the client, I'd be like, oh, that's actually a squoval shape. So that way the client knows moving forward in their life in general that that is the shape that they should be requesting versus asking for a round shape. So something to think about. But I'm just using my little under the nail filing bit to smooth out, get any excess gel out of there, while also getting rid of my free edge under my nail. We're taking a brief intermission to work on a charm that I'm making for my nails. I wanted to do this at this point. And actually, if you haven't seen my Substack, I just did, because I'm obsessed with making 3D little guys right now, I just did an entire video post showing all different ways and all different types of 3D product that you can use to make your own little charm guys like this. I'm making a dog. So be sure to check that out. My Substack will be linked in the description box, but I have a whole video on that going through all the different types of gel you can use and how I do it. So this is just one of my favorite parts of this video, to be honest. He is so cute and only gets cuter as time goes on. Just adding some little highlights to his eyes there. And then my favorite part is going to be the little blush. I'm going to use the Arty gel, and it is the color changing gel. So when your hands are, I would say, kind of in like room temperature, the blush will be on his cheeks. If it's cold, the blush will show up. But at the moment your nail gets hot, then the blush disappears. So it's almost like he's blushing when it's cold out, which is so cute. And then once I had that all cured, I'm just going in and I'm continuing on with my nails. So I'm just applying a base coat over top of my nails. This is just to help smooth out. I like applying like color gel over a smooth base coated surface. So I'm just doing that. You don't have to, but I'm also using the Zombie base, which is a little bit thicker because I wanted to fill in and make sure that the back area was fully connected to the nail, because the dual form doesn't go right up to the cuticle all the time. So I just wanted to make sure that there was kind of a seamless transition from the cuticle area into the nail bed. But look how like thin these nails look. They look really good, I'm not gonna lie. Just going in and starting to apply my colors. I'll have all these linked below, but this is one from the More Gel Favorite Collection. Then we're doing a white on this nail, and then like a more beigey color on the next, like a beigey nude kind of situation. And I'm gonna apply 2 coats of each of these. Look how satisfying. I just love syrups. I'm avoiding the pinky and the thumb because I'm gonna be airbrushing all the color onto those nails, so I don't actually need to do a base coat. All the colors that I'm going to be applying are going to be a little bit more opaque, so I don't have to worry about that. I'm just gonna leave them clear. And when I'm ready to airbrush them, I will wipe them down so there's no sticky gel layer on. You can totally matte coat. That was my preferred method for a long time, but I actually am quite comfortable without matte coating my nail before I airbrush now. So I'm just going in now with my airbrush once everything's been wiped off, and we're doing a little green aura on this nail. I was having all of the technical difficulties at this point today. I believe Mercury was in retrograde while I was filming this, and she was certainly, someone had to be been retrograding because everything was going wrong that could have gone wrong. You'll see, you never see me top coat this set, just so you know. I want to put that out there because my phone completely filled up. And it was so full, I couldn't delete anything. Isn't that wild? It was like a 2-day whirlwind of me wanting to throw my phone off a cliff. But we've come out on the other side. I was nervous actually that this video, I wouldn't have enough footage because the camera kept turning off, but we did. You just don't see me top coat. And if anything seems a little sudden and abrupt, it's probably because my phone stopped recording. Just a heads up. But we're just airbrushing. This is how I do the little striped sweater nails. I do this with my airbrush. I actually filmed a video on how to do this like many years ago, but I'm very happy to see that this is so popular, this technique now. I had so many people, with this set on, I've had so many people ask me how to do this little thumb or this little stripe set design, so it's super, super easy. My airbrush was giving me a bit of trouble, but you know, aside, with a fully well-functioning airbrush, it's very easy. Just going over, oh yeah, just that thumb, doing the star stencils. I'm laying down white, or I was laying down white on that first because I'm going to go back in with a yellow, and the yellow is sheer. So same with these nails, I laid down white in that area first because that yellow I wanted to use was sheer. So I wanted to make sure it was fully opaque, similar to the other color. So that's why I popped the white down first. And just adds a little bit of punch without it being sheer. Just going around the edges of the stencil there. This stencil lay down was ridiculous. I don't know why I was doing it. Oh, because I wanted to lay down the white and get all the white down first and get all the yellow down at the same time. That's why I did it that way. And then just going in and painting one large star with a very similar yellow gel shade to what I had airbrush on. So it's kind of matchy. I definitely could have airbrushed the star on, no problem, but I kind of wanted a bit of like an elongated leg star, and I didn't have any stencils for that, so I figured I would just paint it on, which I know I painted a star on my other hand as well, and I know by the time I got to that star I was like kicking myself for not having just airbrushed them, because I think I was so hungry by the end of this set that I was like shaking and I was frustrated because of my phone. Yeah, and I hated every minute of that other star, so you're not gonna see that one though. You're just gonna see the joy of painting this one. But now moving on to this nail, I'm painting I Heart Dogs, because of course. So I'm kind of mapping it out. I'm laying down the eye just like that first, and then mapping out the heart. And that's just to make sure spatially I have everything sorted out before I go in and paint the full detail of one thing and then realize that I don't, you know, have enough room for it for the next. So I kind of map out the details of this one and then go in and fill in the heart, then return back to the eye and get that all sorted out as well before moving on to the dogs part. It is definitely helpful to kind of work in this way just to make sure, because we've all been there before where you spend so much time painting something only for you to realize you don't have enough time or enough space for the full project. Yeah, so I'm just lightly mapping that out now. And then I say with having this kind of light map out is you can correct things with like a little bit of alcohol on a brush. Yeah. And now I'm going in and I'm going to fill it in the lettering in more detail. And then even at the end, I'm going to go through, you won't see that part, but once I get all the letters painted down, I'm going to go through and just do a little bit more correction just to get the letters a little bit nicer. But yeah, so cute. I love this set so much. What is all of your favorite sets that you've done on yourself so far this year? Give me the themes. I want to know. I will have to do my own nails again in probably a week or so. So, girl, could use some ideas. Also, if there's anything you want to see on my nails, because like I said, I'm going to have to do my own nails. Let me know within the next week or so. Just comment down below. And perhaps your idea will be on my YouTube very soon. Just making a little button. I love doing these buttons. They're so cute. You absolutely could just put an actual button on your nails, but making clay buttons is really fun. So you roll out a little ball, you squish it into a pancake on your nail, and then I'm using this kind of rounded tip silicone tool, and that helps kind of make the indentation. And then this is the Sissy clay, so it's almost a bit of a drier formula, so it does make little cracks when you push it out, so you just use an alcohol soaked brush to smooth that back down. And then use a super fine dotting tool to make the little dot holes. And I always find before I cure, I like to check to make sure the dot holes haven't smushed closed again. Now I popped my dog guy off the dual form, and now I am just sticking it on with some gel. You could totally put the dog right on your nail, like make the dog on your nail, but I didn't feel like using my non-dominant hand to make a detailed, cute little critter like this. So that's why I did it ahead of time and decided to glue it on. The treble cuff, I did not make these. These are store-bought charms. But I am making a little paw print here with some 3D gel. we're going to cut off abruptly very shortly, but I'm just using the zigzag gel from Jello Jello to create this, and it's so cute. Just wait for the final shot to see it all in action, because the phone is about to give up. And here we have it. Here is the final set. How freaking cute. I'm literally obsessed with these nails so much. It's one of my favorite sets for sure I've done on myself, at least within the last year. I hope you guys like it too. Let me know what you think down below, and let me know what you want to see in my next videos. Catch you in the next one. Bye.